going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought. We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. We have Cathie Woods at the Bitcoin conference. Yes, her fund is down, but what is she focused on? That's right, the fourth industrial revolution, where the robots, algorithms, and drones take over the economy and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And she says she's looking forward, not backwards. That's why she's going to be successful. And what did she say about the Lightning Network? It's time for prime time. And I'm not talking about Deion Sanders. Lightning Network is ready to take over the globe. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you because he knows. When it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
The first public asset manager to gain exposure to Bitcoin in 2015 when it was $250. I think today it's $44,000. And we think it's just begun. But I don't think most institutional investors are positioned the way they ultimately will be. A lot of retail has really led the charge here. They, like with our other funds, the retail investor, the individual investor, those people with one foot in the new world, they get what we do. They get Bitcoin. So I think institutions are coming along slowly.
What are you seeing as far as the differences in retail investors in your ARK ETFs and some of the institutional investors when it comes to conversations about performance and long-term views and strategies? Talk about those differences.
Well, okay, so most of our investor base has been retail, but we have been cultivating institutional relationships for the past 3 to 5 years. We do have institutional investors, but so we have two conversations. For the retail investor who's been with us, who really does believe that we're onto something, that innovation is going to disrupt every sector out there, and they want to be on the right side of change, we have educated them. We have a 5-year investment time horizon. Everything we do, keep your eye on the prize, average down if you can, and usually that sort of disciplined behavior will work out over time. We often say time, not timing. In fact, one of our clients in Japan, Mizuho Fuke-san, that's his words. Those are his words. Time, not timing. And we have a chart now. If you look, if you held stocks instead of trading around them over time, you would have done much better than trying to time. So that's the retail base. So they're holders and they're averaging in. Institutions, in 2020, we had incredible performance. Innovation solves problems. COVID brought with it a lot of problems. And I think a lot of institutions looked at us like, what is this in terms of where does it fit into my matrix? And so we don't fit neatly into a matrix that any of these ratings agencies have or so forth. So I think we're being put into the alternative bucket. We're the closest to a venture capital fund in the public equity markets. And now they're looking carefully at us because of our research. The screen for our portfolios is not any benchmark. In fact, until recently, I didn't know what was in benchmarks. And I didn't know that of the 28% in technology in the S&P 500, we don't own any of them. We're very different. We're not backwards looking, we're forwards looking. And I think institutions are beginning to see the bifurcation between valuations in the private markets when it comes to innovation, which is where they are, and innovation in the public markets. And they're saying there's an arbitrage opportunity. So we're getting a lot more interest from institutions, just as it has with many other innovation cycles. And I said to Yassine El-Mandra, our crypto analyst, I said, who's whispering in her ear? Because we began to hear other policymakers on both sides of the aisle talk in this way. And in talking to Michael Saylor earlier, he thinks it's Gary Gensler. Gary understands Bitcoin. He taught about it at MIT before he became chairman of the SEC, and he understands how profound this innovation is. First, global, private, meaning non-government, but it is open source, so public in that sense. Digital, rules-based monetary system ever. So it's a very big idea, and we do not want to be left behind. That Block's singular focus on Bitcoin is critical here. This is how Bitcoin's going to proliferate around the world. And the second layer solution, which is the Lightning Network on top of the base layer, has been in test mode for years now. And, one issue after another, but it seems as though the second layer solution has become more robust now and is ready for prime time. I think that was part of the announcement, direct deposit into the Lightning Network, taking away a lot of the friction in the user interface. So I think this could be big. Last year, Lightning, the number of channels on the Lightning Network almost tripled. I think a lot of that was El Salvador and maybe some of the other trouble spots around the world. This is going to bring the US, I think. I think the number of channels is going to explode. And my guess is the number of developers developing to this platform is also going to explode.
Most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.